In 2007, Kovach and Rosenstiel described that the purpose of journalism is not defined by technology, nor by journalists or the techniques they employ. Rather, the purpose of journalism is defined by something more basic: the function news plays in the lives of people. They said that the first obligation of journalism is the truth. That's because the purpose of news is to help people self-govern. But that only happens when citizens are given the information they need to do so. So, what do journalists do to make this happen inside the newsroom?
First of all, what are the criteria, no? How do they choose what news or what to publish? There are so-called news values.
News values are the standards through which an editor decides what to publish. These include timeliness, or how new the story is, prominence, or if it involves an important entity, relevance, or if the story is important at all, proximity, or if the story is close to where the reporter is, and finally, human interest, or if it's something that people will find interesting.
In the case of the Inquirer, we have at least 4 layers of gatekeeping. And the first layer, naturally, would be the reporters. They're the ones who cover different assignments.
Our primary consideration, of course, is what are the main stories of the day, meaning the biggest stories of the day. And of course, we can cover all stories given the limited manpower that we have. That's why we have reporters assigned in different beats, or sometimes we call it cluster.
So it's up to the reporters to decide, filter out what's important and what's not important.
The story now by the reporter is submitted to the desk. The desk in newspapers is the group of editors who decide, number one, whether the story should be edited or even rewritten. Number two, the editors decide what the headline will be. And number three, they decide in what part of the newspaper the report will be published.
Iba-iba ang process sa bawat newsroom, no? Iba ang diskarte ng TV, ibang diskarte ng online, ibang diskarte ng print, lalong ibang diskarte ng radyo. Kung ano ang galing sa reporter na malaking storya at ano ang na-monitor ng newsroom na story, yun ang aming kukunin. Ang story na yan ipapadala ng mga tao sa news center. Sila ang pipili, then ako ang final say for the stories na ipapasok sa newscast.
What makes news news? News is about public interest. Does it serve the public interest? Does it serve the public good? Is it composed of journalists? Journalists who subscribe to time-tested methods of objective news gathering.
Sa Vera Files, we basically rely on primary sources. Minsan, nagko-contact din kami ng government agencies. When we do rely on news reports, kailangan tina-triangulate namin. So basically, we find 3 news reports, tapos dapat each one of them parehas ng nire-report.
Yung mga chine-check natin ay statement of facts. Ibig sabihin, pwede rin silang ma-prove or disprove ng legitimate sources such as primary records, statistics, historical records, journal articles, scientific articles, legal proceedings, yung mga court rulings.
Credentials, track record, does the source have any vested interest? What are the vested interests of the source?
Reporters and editors are trained to be skeptical of everything. Whenever a government official makes a claim, the first question that you have to ask is, what is your proof? What's your basis for your claim? You have to check the authenticity, the legitimacy, the veracity of the information you're getting from your sources.
It's important for journalists to verify these sources carefully, especially when the Philippines has become a haven for disinformation, with more than half of Filipinos finding it difficult to identify what is true and what is false.
This information has always been there. Parang there's no such thing as fake news because news is not supposed to be fake. When you say news, it's truthful, it's based on facts. However, na-weaponize kasi siya, kumbaga nagamit siya to move a specific agenda.
The distrust towards the media is not something that was caused by the media, but by external factors. We're talking about populist leaders who have been attacking media organizations and getting their supporters to attack media organizations.
Mas pinaniniwalaan na kasi nung masa yung fake kesa sa totoong balita. Kapag totoong balita, binabato kami ng reklamo. Pero kapag fake yung balita and pabor sa kanilang sinusuportahan, parang tuwang-tuwa yung masa, pinaniniwalaan nila yung sa kanila na. Yung kanilang hawak na impormasyon. They don't care about kung ano yung ibibigay pa namin.
You have disinformation agents or channels are funded by powerful people trying to chip away at the credibility of media organizations. You have governments using their legal and judicial systems to run after critical journalists. So it's not the press that is to blame for these attacks. And it's not the press that is to blame for the distrust.
It goes to show how fast and rigorous of a process news production really is, just to fulfill their obligation to the truth. But despite all that, distrust in the media remains as one of journalism's biggest challenges. Which begs the question for many Filipinos, if we can't trust the people who inform us, then who do we trust?
We live in a world in which there's a lot of falsehood. And it is the fundamental duty of journalists. It has always been their fundamental duty to report the truth, because the truth is crucial to the achievement of human freedom.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Newsroom. If you want to learn more about red tagging and media ownership, you can watch a few more videos somewhere here. We also have a zine called Byline, a journalist's guide to red tagging coverage, which contains information about media framing and agenda setting. You can learn more at framingred.com.